You're at the airport, stressed, your flight just got cancelled. You open your phone and type to an AI app, "Help me get home." If it is a chatbot, it says, "I'm sorry your flight was cancelled. Here are some options you might consider." If it is an AI agent, it checks your calendar, searches for the next available flight on your preferred airline, finds one with a seat in your price range, books it, emails you the confirmation, and pings you 90 minutes before departure. Same input, completely different result. That gap between answering a question and actually doing something is what this entire series is about. I'm Arya, and this is the AI Agent Engineer Roadmap. Over the next 56 episodes, we are going to go from understanding what agents are to building and shipping them into production. Let's start at the beginning. Here's something that sounds harsh but is completely true. Most of the AI chatbots, in their default form, they're just very impressive autocomplete machines. You type something, they type something back. Done. That's a chatbot. And chatbots are genuinely useful. But the second your task requires more than one step, requires checking something external, or requires actually doing something in the real world, a chatbot hits a wall. Try asking your AI chatbot to actually send an email for you, or ask it to pull your meeting notes from last Tuesday and summarize the action items, or to look up whether your favorite library released a new version and update your project's requirements file. It can't. Not because it isn't smart enough, because it isn't built for it. That's the chatbot ceiling, and agents are built to break through it. Here's the simplest definition, which comes from OpenAI's official developer documentation. An AI agent is an AI system that has instructions, what it should do, guardrails, what it should not do, and access to tools, what it can do to take action on the user's behalf. Let me break that down with a metaphor. Imagine you've just hired a new junior developer on your team. They're smart. But on day one, you don't just hand them a laptop and say, "Go ship features." You give them instructions. Here's how we work. Here's what we build. You give them guardrails. Don't push to production without a code review. And you give them tools, such as access to GitHub, the database, Slack. That combination, instructions plus guardrails plus tools, that's what transforms a capable brain into a working teammate. An AI agent is exactly that. It's an LLM equipped with tools that allow it to actually do things. Search the web, run code, call APIs, send messages, read files. And the guardrails make sure it does those things responsibly. Now, before we go further, I want to make sure we're all using the same vocabulary, because AI agent gets thrown around a lot and it means different things to different people. So let's draw 4 boxes. Box 1, LLM raw model. You call the API, it returns text. No memory, no tools, no autonomy. Just tokens in, tokens out. Box 2, chatbot. A conversational interface built on top of an LLM. It can have memory within a session. It can answer questions, but it doesn't take actions. Box 3, AI assistant. Still mostly chat-based, but sometimes enhanced with a tool or two. A step up, but still largely reactive. Box 4, AI agent. This is where things get real. It uses an LLM as its reasoning engine, but it's equipped with tools, memory, and a loop that lets it take multi-step actions toward a goal, sometimes without any human in between each step. The agents we are building in this series are squarely in that 4th box. Not chat interfaces, not wrappers. Real, action-taking, goal-pursuing systems. Okay, here's the core concept of the entire series. Everything else is built on top of this. Every agent, no matter how simple or complex, runs a loop. And that loop has 4 steps. Step 1, perceive. The agent takes in its input. Maybe it's a user's message. Maybe it's data from a sensor or an API. Maybe it's the result of a previous tool call. Step 2, think. The LLM reasons about the input. What does this mean? What should I do? Which tool should I use? It produces a decision, sometimes with visible reasoning, sometimes not. Step 3, act. The agent executes that decision. It calls a tool. It runs some code. It searches the web. It writes to a file. Something happens in the real world. Step 4. Observe. The agent gets feedback. The tool returned a result. The API responded. The code ran or failed. That observation becomes the new input, and the loop starts again. Perceive, think, act, observe, and repeat until the task is done. Sometimes they return to the human for further information or judgment. But at their core, they're just running this loop, using tool results to check their progress at each step. Here's the wild thing. Once you really internalize this loop, you'll see it everywhere. Every agent framework, every production AI system, every product you've heard of from Claude Code to coding assistants. They're all some version of this loop. Let me make this tangible. These aren't hypothetical examples. These are things happening right now. Anthropic published research in early 2026 analyzing millions of real agent interactions. What did they find? Software engineering accounts for nearly 50% of all agent activity in production. Agents are writing code, fixing bugs, reviewing pull requests, and navigating code bases autonomously. But it doesn't stop there. Customer support agents are handling high ambiguity requests, pulling order history, checking databases, issuing refunds, escalating to humans only when genuinely needed. Deep research agents are crawling through thousands of documents, extracting insights, synthesizing reports in minutes. And the really interesting number from that research, among the most experienced users, Claude Code. Anthropic's coding agent works autonomously for over 45 minutes straight before needing human input. That's not a demo, that's production. We are past the isn't this cool phase. Agents are doing real work. Here's the framing I want you to walk away with, because it'll make everything in this series click. LLMs are the brain, agents are the body. An LLM knows how to reason, how to understand language, how to generate coherent, structured thought. That's genuinely remarkable. But knowing how to do something and actually doing it are very different things. Agents take everything the LLM knows and connect it to the world. They give it hands, tools to act. They give it memory, so it can learn from what it does. They give it a loop, so it can try, observe, and correct. OpenAI puts it cleanly. Agents are applications that can plan, call tools, collaborate across specialists, and keep enough state to complete multi-step work. That last part, multi-step work, is the key phrase. Most valuable things in the world require more than one step. Writing a research report, multiple steps. Debugging a production incident, multiple steps. Managing a customer support ticket end-to-end, multiple steps. An LLM alone can help you think about each of those steps. An agent can actually do them. Here's the roadmap for what we're building together. We start with the foundations, understanding LLMs, prompting, and APIs. Because if you don't understand the engine, you can't build the car. Then we add tools, giving agents the ability to act in the real world. Then memory, making agents that actually remember context and learn. Then orchestration, chaining multiple steps into complex workflows. Then multi-agent systems, building teams of specialized agents. Then deployment, getting all of this into production with real APIs, Docker, and cost tracking. And finally, we ship something real. A complete AI SaaS product built end-to-end. Every 3 episodes, we build a project, not a toy. A real working system you can show someone. Agents aren't science fiction anymore. They're software. And software is learnable, buildable, and deployable by anyone willing to put in the work. That's what this series is here for. In the next episode, we're going deep on how LLMs actually work. Tokens, context, windows, temperature. Because if you're going to trust an LLM to be the brain of your agent, you need to understand how it thinks. If this episode was useful, drop a like and subscribe. It genuinely helps this series reach more people who are trying to learn this stuff seriously. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I'll see you in next episode.